An example for you would be, say, the energy calculation on washing machines.
Yes.
It's not fit for purpose. It's
talk us through it. I mean, to be fair, everything that's been passed since 2008, and I say, give me the highlights, and you say energy on washing machines.
There's thousands, but this is just an example. It's the way they're written, you know.
Yes. Are you in the washing machine business?
No, I'm not. It's an example that I was challenged by a friend to give this answer to you know, that you're asking as well, and so I had to look up and read some European legislation. But
you had to look it up after you'd said that it was a good idea.
No.
On Brexit Day, the government asked the public a simple question. Name the EU regulations you'd like to scrap. So James O'Brien opened the phones and invited callers to put their best example on the list. The very first man reached for washing machines. Then he admitted a friend had told him to say it, and that he'd had to look up why afterwards. And that was the strongest answer of the day. Let's watch it together.
My view is that we should look at every bit of legislation that's been passed since 2008, really, and go through it. And,
so I think he'll probably need a little bit more specifics than that, won't he?
Well, maybe. But,
so let's help him out with some specifics.
An example for you would be, say, the energy calculation on washing machines.
Yes.
It's not fit for purpose.
Talk us through it. I mean, to be fair, everything that's been passed since 2008, and I say, give me the highlights, and you say energy on washing machines.
There's thousands, but this is just an example. It's the way they're written, you know.
Yes. Are you in the washing machine business?
No, I'm not. It's an example that I was challenged by a friend to give this answer to you know, that you're asking as well, and so I had to look up and read some European legislation. But
you had to look it up after you'd said that it was a good idea.
No, I'll give you one that I work in. So I work in construction.
No, can we just finish off the washing machine stuff first?
Okay.
Because I haven't heard it from anybody in the industry.
Okay.
An objection to it. So what is the problem?
Well, my objection to that is that, or the objection to that I've got is the calculation they have for it is very prescriptive.
Yes.
And it's easy to fudge these calculations.
Okay.
It's a very long calculation. It's set in one formula. And you can play with the formula.
Is this a variation on the hairdryer Hoover story?
Yes, it's that kind of thing. Yeah,
so, I mean, when I said don't ring me and talk about hairdryers or Hoovers, parenthetically, we could have included washing machines, unless you're in the industry. So, I mean, the question was, how is it going to improve your life or mine? So let's do it from that angle.
Let me pick one.
Let's do it from that angle. How's it going to improve your life or mine?
Well, I'll tell you from a business point of view.
Yes.
How it makes the business better.
But you're not in the washing machine business, are you?
No, but I could tell you about something that I am involved in. So,
well, then why are we talking about washing machines?
Well, because that's one as well, and you didn't want to talk about it. So
no, I do. I want you to tell me how changing this regulation is going to make your life or my life better.
Well, the whole economy works better if the regulations are well written and they're practical. Most of the European regulations are very unpractical and over the top.
I mean, forgive me, but that should make it really, really easy for you to answer my questions then. So how is my life going to be improved by reviewing washing machine legislation?
Well, so that maybe not directly your life.
Well, okay, your life then.
Immediately. So if everyone's working very inefficiently, there's been less money for everybody. I'm just saying the rules that the European Union right.
Yes, and I'm asking you to prove it, I suppose, politely.
Okay, so for example, I'll give you a better example. Something
that was supposed to be your best.
No, it wasn't. It was just an example, and there's hundreds of thousands of examples. I think.
Yeah, so when you say there's hundreds and thousands, and I say give me one, I think the presumption is that you'll reach for a strong one.
Yeah, and I can give you another. Well, you keep telling me that's not the area of industry I work in.
No, I just said how will it improve our lives? Washing machines, and you don't know, which is fine. I don't know either. So I probably wouldn't have phoned you live on the radio to say it, but here we are. So let's move on to something else.
the problem with the European Union is the bureaucracy it creates.
No, I've heard all of this, but that's not what Sajid Javid is asking. He's asking which bureaucracy, bits of this bureaucracy, you'd like to get rid of. So we can't put washing machines on the list. I think we both agreed on that, because you haven't got a clue how it would improve anything. So what are we going to put? What are we going to put on the list?
So another thing involved in recently is bats and bat surveys and all that kind of stuff.
Bats?
Yeah.
So how is that going to improve your life or mine?
Well, basically, for example...
Bats as in the flying mammals that sleep upside down?
The price of houses, okay? You're concerned about the price of houses.
So we're not talking about bats anymore?
Yeah, we are, but you have to let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
If you had more houses on the market, since it's easier to build, then the price of houses would be lower and there'd be more houses available for everybody. So one of the things that holds up development on building a site is the fact that you have to go through ridiculous procedures for checking for bats and protecting the bats, and you can't do things that would actually prevent the bats coming in. You can't do.
Okay, so I'm going to put that down. So we tell Sajid Javid we want less protections for bats.
Not protections, but just relevant protections, because.
So we don't want.
Millions of them around.
Right. So which bit of the current legislation would you change first, do you think, with regard to the bats?
Well, for bats, you've got to go through it. I mean, the American legislation is pretty good. It's much better quality than ours, than the European one. So I would start with something like the American legislation.
So what are the big differences? What are the big differences there?
I'm not an expert on American. I just know I've talked to the guys.
So washing machines, but you can't tell me why, and bats, but you can't tell me why. Is there anything that you do understand that you could put on this list?
Well, I do. I work on the practical end of these things, so I'm not a lawyer. But all these things need to be drafted by lawyers, but they need to be done on a practical basis.
No. But you can't say that they need to be drafted by lawyers until you've explained why. And all you've done so far is say the words washing machines and bats. So what is the problem at the moment with the current legislation in ways that everybody would understand? And that's why, in many ways, it's good that you're not involved in the washing machine industry or indeed in bat surveys, because you've got an understanding of it and you can just share it with us in layman's terms, can't you?
So in bat surveys, basically you've got to protect the bats, which is a reasonable thing to do, and I agree with that.
Right, so which bit don't you agree with then?
The way the legislation is written is that every bat, whether it needs to be protected or not. I'm going to put you out.
I'm going to put you out your misery now, Jim. I think. I mean, with the greatest of respect, I for one wonderful moment, I thought that you were having a bit of fun and joking around, but oh my God, you're serious. Anne's in Berkhamsted. Anne, what are you most looking forward to?
It's the working time directive. So there are companies and organisations all over this land who have to record that people work on average 48 hours or less over a 13-week period.
Yes.
It's costing us all a fortune to do that, to record it.
Right.
And we're all sidestepping it because we either belong to other organisations so we can get our hours up, or we just ignore the whole thing. And actually, the whole legislation is a farce.
Okay, I'm just going to dig down into it a little bit further. And the world may have changed since I signed an exemption to the Working Time Directive when I was a newspaper journalist. So what is it that you want to be able to do that you can't currently do?
I want to be able to work 2 hours or 100 hours, and that's my choice and not legislation.
Who is currently stopping you from doing that?
The European legislation on the Working Time Directive.
But I know lots of people putting in loads and most often lorry drivers, oddly. So what is it that you do? What line of work are you in?
Well, I'm in all sorts of lines of work. I'm a retired ex-director from the council.
And you want to be free to work 100 hours a week doing what?
Well, anything I want to do.
I know, but you've retired. So in terms of what would you want to be doing with those 100 hours?
So one of the things that I do is recovery management. So when an organisation is failing.
Yes.
And one of the things that it needs is manpower and my effort. And
but I suppose what I mean is when you hit 49 hours, who is it that comes around and locks you in a box?
Nobody at all at the moment until I do that more than 48 hours a week over a 13-week period.
Yeah, and then who turns up and tells you off? Because I know loads of people that are doing that.
Yeah, there are lots of people who are doing it. But if you wanted... So, for example, if I'm in the care industry...
I think I prefer the bat.
So I'm in the care... No, it's nothing to do with bats. I'm in the care industry.
Batty?
and I have some people with some really complex, challenging behaviour,
yes.
and I need to increase my staffing levels considerably, and
yes.
somebody will say, I'm sorry, but I'm over my 48 hours.
Yes.
And actually, that's not acceptable.
Oh, well, no, hang on, you've changed your tune now. So what you're saying is that you want people to be forced to work more than 48 hours, not to have
No, I want to be able for people to say...
But what if they don't want to work more than 48 hours?
I'm happy to put the hours in, but I can't at the moment.
But no, they can at the moment. We've just established
and
that.
The other thing is the bureaucracy, the recording. So I have staff sitting there.
Well, you did have before you retired.
Yes.
Yes.
But they're doing it now.
Yes.
People just sitting
Well, they're keeping
there
a record of how many hours they've worked.
How many hours people have worked.
Yes.
So
and if you don't keep that record, how would you know how much to pay them?
Well, the point is that they're actually not just saying how many hours they're working,
right.
but on average if they're going over the 48-hour week. So this
yes.
week I might do 56. And next
yes,
week
because that's a protection for workers in that no employer has the right to order you to work more than 48 hours a week, but you are perfectly... But no, hang on, I need to finish this because one of us doesn't understand it. Yes, you do. You have the right to do whatever you want. Your employer doesn't have the right to order you to do more than you want to.
No,
and they've taken 48. They've taken 48 hours as the cut-off point. But anyway, if you were suddenly allowed to work 100 hours a week, talk us through what you do with them briefly.
Well, in my previous role, I probably did 16 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Oh, and you didn't get arrested?
No, I didn't get arrested.
Well, was this prior to our European Union membership? This was prior to 2003, was it?
Yes.
It was.
So the point is that when I needed to put the hours in, I could. And then when I needed to go off for coffee because of stress levels, I could.
Okay, and now you can't. That's just not true, but have a wonderful day. Paul's in Chelsea. Paul, what are you going to put on my list?
Hello, James. Please go easy with me, mate. I would ask Sajid Javid to bring back the death penalty.
What, in the budget?
No, on this list of European rules.
Yeah. I mean, it is a budgetary requirement, but I suppose given that the bats and the washing machines and the working time directive hasn't gone very well, you want to bring back the death penalty?
Personally, yeah. Because correct me if I'm wrong, James, your knowledge is probably far superior to mine on this, but I'm sure it's the Europeans that don't allow us to hang people.
When did we abolish it?
I think it was wasn't it under Tony Blair's government? The last working gallows got taken out.
The death penalty was abolished under Tony Blair's government.
No.
Well, no, that's not what I asked. When did we abolish the death penalty?
In the 60s.
And when did we join the European Union?
73.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a very different world, James. We didn't have the same level of terrorism as we do today. Vile crimes.
I know, it's the suicide bombers are the worst, aren't they?
No, I'm not talking about suicide bombers. I'm talking about
the ones that got shot in Streatham and London Bridge.
So
who would be top of the list?
My mouth. I rang up with a legitimate point, and
here you are making it. I love it. Why are you getting why are you being such a snowflake?
Because
who would you kill first?
What do you mean? Who would I kill first?
Who's the best?
Like Rosemary West.
I think she's dead, isn't she?
Okay, there we go. Have a good day, James.
Self-awareness, eh? It's not always pretty. Sorry, Sajid. Still sort of struggling a bit on this one, mate, but we'll hang in there. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. James is in Newcastle, for example. James, what have you got?
I've got regulations on things like bananas and food that goes to waste because it's substandard in the EU's eyes. So not really. Well, it's a budgetary issue, I don't know, but I think it's important.
So what happens to the food at the moment?
Well, it's wasted. If a banana's not the right shape, then it's...
you're joking me.
No, I'm serious.
No, you're not.
I am, because...
You rung in to talk about bendy bananas.
Yeah, well, it's better than bats and whatever else we've had, is it not?
No. It's actually worse, because I hadn't heard about bats and washing machines before, but the bananas line has been rubbished from pillar to post for the last 20 years.
Well, food wastage in general is not something that should
Well, that's the bit I don't understand. Food. So you think that bananas that don't measure up to a certain standard all get thrown away into a big bin?
They're not sold, or carrots that are a strange shape aren't sold in the same packets as the ones that are.
They are in other European countries.
5 inches long.
They are in Greece and France.
Well, I think things are improving because they've started selling them, but they sold them as a separate section of wonky vegetables when it could always be mixed in together.
That had nothing to do with EU membership.
There is an EU regulation on bananas, and I'm not kidding you. It's a real life thing.
Yeah. Mind how you go, mate. All right. Stay away from sharp things.
On Brexit Day, the government handed Brexit voters the exact thing they'd been asking for. Sajid Javid invited businesses to name the EU regulations they wanted scrapped. So James O'Brien opened his phone lines and said, simply, tell me what to put on the list. Name one. And what follows is one of the most quietly devastating things you'll ever hear. Because it turns out that when you finally give people the pen, the list stays blank. Caller 1 leads with washing machines. The energy calculation on washing machines, specifically, and O'Brien, reasonably, asks him to explain the problem. And he can't. He's not in the washing machine industry. In fact, he admits, and this is the line that defines the whole thing, that a friend challenged him to give this answer, so he had to look up the European legislation after he'd already decided it was a good example. Read that again. He picked the answer first, then went looking for a reason. The conclusion came before the evidence every single time. When O'Brien simply asks how changing it would improve his life or anyone's, he has nothing. He eventually says, and you have to admire the honesty, I don't know either, so I probably wouldn't have phoned you live on the radio to say it. But here we are. So O'Brien asks for a better one, and the man offers BATs. Bat surveys, holding up housing development. And for a moment, there's a real thing in there. Planning rules are a legitimate debate. But he can't connect it to the EU, can't say which law he'd change, and drifts into praising American legislation he then admits he knows nothing about. O'Brien's summary is perfect, washing machines, but you can't tell me why. Bats, but you can't tell me why. Is there anything you actually understand that you could put on this list? And there isn't. He ends it gently. For one wonderful moment I thought you were joking, but oh my God, you're serious. Then the next caller on the working time directive. This one's revealing in a different way because he argues himself into a full circle. He wants the freedom to work 100 hours a week. O'Brien points out nobody's stopping him. There's an opt-out, always has been. So he switches and starts complaining that his staff can refuse to work beyond 48 hours, which means the thing he's actually objecting to isn't a restriction on his freedom at all. It's a protection for his workers that he'd like the power to override. O'Brien draws it out with total patience until the caller is arguing the opposite of what he rang in to say. Then, a man who wants to bring back the death penalty, which isn't a new regulation, isn't in the budget, and wasn't abolished because of Europe. And when pushed on who exactly he'd execute, the sentence collapses in his mouth. O'Brien lets the silence do the work. And finally, bendy bananas. The oldest myth in the book, debunked for 20 years. The caller offers it as if it's fresh, and even he seems to sense it's thinner than the bats. And here's the point, the thing this whole channel keeps circling. This was the easiest question in the world. These are people who voted sincerely to leave the European Union because of its suffocating regulations. And when a government minister and a national radio host both said, genuinely, brilliant, tell us which ones so we can scrap them, the cupboard was bare. Not because they're stupid. Every one of these callers sounds like a reasonable person. But because the belief never needed a reason underneath it. Washing machines wasn't an argument. It was a feeling wearing the costume of an argument, and the moment someone politely asked it to show it's working, there was nothing there. That's belief over facts, laid completely bare. Not a lie being told, but a conviction that was never built on anything you could point to, held sincerely by people who'd simply never been asked to explain it. Because until that day, nobody had handed them the pen. So no cruelty at the end of this, because there's something almost poignant in it. A man Googling a reason for a thing he already believed. If it was worth your time, give it a like, share it with someone who's still making the list, and subscribe if you'd like more. Name one. It was only ever one question.